Daughter is suspended from school for 2 weeks, and school will only let her back if she gets unnecessary therapy. Please help, I am not the OOP. OOPy is you Claudie 628. Daughter is suspended from school for 2 weeks, and school will only let her back if she gets unnecessary therapy. Please help. Originally posted to our legal advice. Trigger warning, bullying. Original post Sept 16, 2019. My daughter is 6 and just started 1st grade. The school brought in a wildlife instructor to show them some animals. My daughter hates snakes, and that was one of the animals they brought. The instructor told her to touch the snake. She said no. The teacher also told her to touch the snake. She said no again. Both the instructor and the teacher began pressuring her to touch the snake and told her they wouldn't move on until she did. She started crying and ran out into the hallway. She stayed in the hall right outside the door. This is the story from the teacher, FYI. So I know my daughter isn't lying or exaggerating. I got called into school, and the principal said that running out of class without permission is an automatic 2-week suspension. When I heard the story, I asked why they didn't just let her not touch the snake. It seems to me that she had a fairly expected reaction for a 6-year-old in that situation. They said that they were doing exposure therapy and were working to make sure she got over her irrational fears. I asked if there was any way that they could change the suspension, since I can't afford unexpected childcare for 2 weeks. They said that they would waive it if I could show proof of getting her therapy for her fear of snakes. Frankly, I can't afford therapy, and even if I could, there are many things that my daughter could make better use of than therapy for a fear of snakes when we live in a city and rarely encounter snakes. I am furious with the school, and also at a loss. Can the school put her through exposure therapy without my permission? Would a lawyer help me get her back into school? Are there any legal remedies here? Please help. Tia, relevant comments narraging him escalated up the chain. If they still ignore you, inform them that you will file a complaint with the State Department of Education due to the principal's statement that they were doing exposure therapy, and your daughter's fear of snakes was irrational. This should freak them out because 1, you are reporting them to the state, which will involve an investigation that they may not want to. None of the people involved in the incident are licensed mental health professionals, and the teacher was practicing outside the scope of her license that will land her in hot water with the state. Oopy his I don't believe. For a second they were actually trying to do exposure therapy. I think they pushed her too hard, and then made something up to justify it. It was just supposed to be a fun, educational class visit, narraging him, since they made the claim that they were doing exposure therapy that leaves them open to the potential consequences of their actions. In trying to justify them, they have dug themselves a very deep hole. They would have been better off admitting that they screwed up. Wingirl11, so I am an MH professional and do mental health assessment for schools. I have never done anything like this before. It seems way over the top. Most of my cases are neglect, abuse, drug use, defiant behaviors, major learning disorders, etc. Would the school accept a second opinion? Oop, I don't know. They said I need proof she is in therapy, and that was the only option they presented other than the suspension. Update Oct 4, 2019, 3 weeks later. Hi everyone, thanks for your responses to my last post. After I read everything, I called and emailed the superintendent describing what had happened. I got a call back almost immediately, and after I explained the situation, the superintendent told me that she had to call the principal, but there was no way my daughter was suspended for 2 weeks. Got a call about an hour later, letting me know that my daughter could come back to school the next day, but would be placed in a different class. I received apologies from the district and from the principal himself, though I figure that is probably not a genuine apology, but whatever. Thanks for your help. This is a repost sub. I am not the OOP. Do not contact the OOPs or comment on linked posts. Remember Rule 7.